Hello class. This video describes a very brief introduction to the course, and in the class in the very first class period I will go over the same content again with a little more detail, etc. But this gives you an overview of what the course is all about and what we are hoping to achieve. So how do we complete this module? Well, the part one is basically instructions for each module. There are 7 modules for 14 weeks. So for each module, I will be providing you certain PDF files so you could read them and before coming to the class, or you can consult them after the class. So read the PDFs, and there are relevant book chapters generally listed for each module. So no matter what the book you choose, it's okay. You don't need to use Castellan that I have recommended. There are many books, and if you already own a book, that's perfectly fine. But you just have to go through the relevant chapters corresponding to that in each of those books that you may have. Watch the PowerPoint lectures of the module after you have listened to the class or before. And I'm not going to be I'm not going to cover material too different from these lectures that I have posted, because this is what we want to do, and in the real time we may or may not be able to do all that. And so this is a foundation for our course, and we need to watch them sometime or the other to understand what is being covered. And I suggest strongly, while watching the PowerPoint lectures, either video or whatever, take notes. And this is really important. You can pause the video and take the notes, and or better even, you print out the PowerPoint slides and then write on the pages. And I recommend strongly to do that. And so this way you have a nice notes even before you come to the classroom. And so this is really cool. And then you can ask questions that you may have encountered during your study, and attend the in-person lecture during the Zoom meeting. Take exams during there are 2 exams that are mandatory, exam 1 and 2, and then there's optional final. Exam 1 covers all the material up to that point, and exam 2 covers the second half of the course. Final exam, as I said, is optional, covers the entire course. Now, the reason to do this is that if you wanted to improve your grade, you still have a chance to do so. And so this way, those students who want to take the final exam can do so and further improve their grading in the course. And lectures are scheduled over 14 weeks, and items are given here. So for example, the very first week we're going to deal with mostly gases and gas properties. Why is that important? Because all the chemical reactions that we're going to study essentially either in the gas phase or the liquid phase, and the kinetics in the gas phase are simpler to study first, and then we can advance to more complicated surface kinetics or solution kinetics, etc. So the gases are really important, and the kinetic theory of gases in particular changed our entire overview of physical chemistry in many ways. And so it's important to study the kinetic theory of gases. That's what this is, kinetic theory of gases. So it's part of kinetics. And some instructors don't pay that much attention, but I think this is really important to understand the molecular basis for the kinetic theory of gases. And then we build on transport kinetics and partition functions. Then you go into solution kinetics, you go to surface kinetics, you have fast kinetics, you have biodiagnostics, and then in the last bit, we'll do theory of rates and collision theory, absolute rate theory, etc. We compare them and try to understand them and by applying them to specific examples. So that completes the whole thing. So this way we have chemical kinetics, biochemical kinetics, photochemical kinetics, enzyme kinetics, surface kinetics, etc. And so try to cover a whole bunch of stuff within this 3-credit course. Now I have listed exam 1 during the weeks 5 and 6, but I will give you its exact date as well. And then exam 2 in weeks 13 and 14, actually 13, and the final exam is on the last class period. If somebody wants to take it, that will be administered during the last class period of this course. And so in the next, here we have a rubric showing that you have 35% of the grade for exam 1, and it's due on October 7th during the class time. And so it's and defined already for you. And exam 2 is 35% and will be given on December 2nd online. They're all online exams. Lockdown browser will be used. I will provide more information and give you a little bit of training in terms of how to do this lockdown browser. Some of you may not have used them. I usually put up some practice exams which you could practice with and questions, and also using a lockdown browser, so you feel more comfortable taking the exam, because already exam is a nerve-wracking situation for some students and for me personally as well. And so this might be of some use for you. And the final exam, as I mentioned, is optional. If you do not take it, it will be an average of exam 1 and 2 and then scaled up properly. So it has 30% credit grades, and it'll be given on the December 9th, the last class period. So if you take exam, that final exam that covers the entire course, you get whatever score you get. But if you opt not to take the final exam, then we will take the average of the exam 1 and 2 and compute from that. And the university recommends that I give grades based on your performance in the course, specifically using this sort of a formula. So I have listed them here, how the percent points you score in the class correspond to the letter grade we give. So please make yourself familiar with it, and so because this is an important way your letter grade is determined. In fact, it is the way the letter grade is determined. And thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you will have some questions when we do talk on the very first class about the course website, as well as the course outline and introduction to the course.